As this season winds itself down with 3 games this weekend and dwindling hope for a playoff spot, 2 other stories find themselves at a conclusion. Their resolution couldn't be any more different. For Mike Davies, finally given a shot at more ice time and at proving his merit on the ice, a happy ending. For Zach Miskovic, a different sort of scenario.
Miskovic up with the rush and a glove save by Climby. Boy, what an interesting week it's been for Zach Miskovic. Traded by the Wolves earlier in the week. First 2 games with San Antonio, he's picked up assists and a chance to give his new team the lead here.
Obviously, me and Miski were in the Zach Miskovic were in the exact same situation. Even once the lockout ended, he still didn't get the opportunity. We know everyone in the locker room knew he deserved it. He's a great player, and it was sad to see him go. It was a big loss, I feel like, for our team. But for himself individually, he needed it, and he needed to go somewhere he needed to play, and he's doing well there.
We signed Zach in the summer to basically be depth for us, be 5th, 6th, 7th defenseman, and the way things fell here, we got some defensemen we didn't expect. So Zach was kind of on the outside looking in, and he was the ultimate professional here. He was just a great guy, not complaining, probably the hardest worker in practice, the greatest guy off ice, and I basically told him that he needs to play, and he was in agreement with that. He didn't want to leave Chicago. He loves playing here, loves being a part of it here. He's a Chicago guy, the whole deal, but for his own career, he had to go somewhere so he can get some playing time and continue his career. And I basically told him that if you weren't such a great guy, I wouldn't let you go, because I could keep a guy, and I'd probably need him for depth, but you got to do the right thing. Like, I can't hold a guy back from continuous career, and that's the way we run our organization. We want what's best for the player, and what best for Zach was to go to another team. And he was excited to go because he knew he was going to play, but at the same time, he was sad to leave our organization because he loves playing here.
Zach's former teammates feel the same way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate part of the business. I mean, Zach's a great guy. And the nice thing about our team is, like, no one holds what you do on the ice or what you do off the ice. No one's going to talk to him because he's not playing or anything like that. Like, he's very much part of the team. I think in his situation, it was fortunate for him to be sent somewhere else because he's getting a lot more playing time, and that's just, I mean, in the end of the day, he needs to, get some playing time, so hopefully it leads to better things the next year and years after that. So, it's obviously he was a good friend, and he's a good team guy, well liked here in the community. So tough to see him go, but at the same time, it was almost a better situation for him to go because unfortunately he just didn't seem to fit into things here.
Wendell did exactly what I think he needed to do. His heart felt like Zach's a great player. And, he needed to be playing, just like I said before. And it was good for Miski. I know he's from Chicago and he wanted to be on the Wolves, but at the same time, this is his career and job, and that happens in life where guys get, I guess, transferred. This time he got traded, so it was a good thing for Miski, and I'm happy that he's doing well. And I think our whole team is really happy to see how well he's doing down there.
The San Antonio Rampage gained a grinder and an even better teammate in Zach Miskovic, but unfortunately, they couldn't secure a playoff spot.
We have a saying here, once a wolf, always a wolf, and we always track players down, find where they're at, whether they're playing the American League, NHL, in Europe, or East Coast League, Central League. We always have an eye on guys that were once a part of our family of the Wolves.
After the lockout ended this season, Mike Davies spent more ice time in a Wolves sweater.
I waited, first half of the season for the lockout to end, and I just stayed focused. And I knew that once that opportunity came, I had to be ready, and I took advantage of it. And that's the type of, I think, person that I am, is opportunistic. And I was really excited to get in the lineup, and I strive for those opportunities to make things happen and put the puck in the net in those big situations.
Mike brought a lot to the table. We know his skill level. He's got great numbers from college. You know, he led Wisconsin in scoring by, I think, like 15, 20 points in his senior year. So he's got skill. It's funny because I hear players coming off from Prox and saying, you know, what a sick move, you know, Davies did today. He did this. He's the type of guy that watched the shootout the night before and does the exact move that an NHL player did in a shootout and score. So the skill was there. You know, it was a learning process for him with the coaches and the coaches with him. We always felt in the organization that he can be a huge contributor on the offensive side. And if you look at his stats, he's like a +10 on our team too. So he's bringing it all, and you know, he's getting more and more ice time. He's earned his keep with the coaches, and he's getting that opportunity on the power play, and the coaches have a lot more confidence in him.
And although it was harder for Mike to catch the eye of his coaches, the second half of the season saw him benefiting from having done so.
I got to give Michael all the credit. True professional, knew coming out of training camp that with all the bodies and NHL guys that were here, especially being an offensive scorer, at one time we had some of those guys in place, and then once the NHL got started up, Michael got an opportunity, and I told him to be patient. I told him that, you know, his chance would come, and you know what? He's made the most of it. He, whether he was, you know, early on he'd get dumped in the lineup and, you know, he'd score a goal and maybe play 3 or 4 games and be back in the stands again, and then he'd come back in and he'd get some opportunities. So now he's playing a big role for us. He's a guy that we lean on the power play. He's a guy offensively that you look to when he has that great shot, and he has real good vision to make plays. And Mike's worked hard. He hasn't very well could have, you know, sulked. He could have, you know, been upset and you know, really kind of pouted about his situation, but that's not what he did. He handled it professionally, and you know, he's reaping the rewards from it.
You know, first if the lockout was even going to end, you know, otherwise you're waiting the whole season, not playing. And yeah, you know, you wake up every day thinking that what if it doesn't, and what's going to happen. But it did, and I was really happy about it. I took advantage of that opportunity, and I think a lot of players on this team took advantage of that opportunity once they got in.
Davies works the right dot, now cuts back in, shot, he scores! We've seen that move work twice this year.
And so we wrap things up here at the Allstate Arena this weekend, and these two guys who face similar challenges this year have yet another thing in common, having been a part of this team and being better for it.
You know, I always think about what would I be doing if I didn't have hockey, you know, and but I do, and I love it, and I just love being around the guys. And even if you're not playing, you know, you have to be a good team guy, because that, you know, rubs off on other guys, and it leads to their play if you're negative and stuff. So I'm just a positive guy, and you know, there's other guys on this team that are positive too. They're the exact same way. They're good team guys, and you know, part of being a good team guy is having good guys around you. And I think we have one of the closest teams that I've ever been on this year and even last year too.